Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm assuming that we are speaking to the youth everywhere. I live in South Africa, so we celebrate June as Youth Month. We, in June, remember the youth that faced the ultimate cause of stress way back in 1976, June the 16th. We know it here as Soweto Day. That's when the youth stood up against the education system. So that's why the whole of the month we commemorate the youth. And so this particular edition of Applied Neolife is for the youth. And I will introduce myself. My name is Esa Zanambasi. I am trained as a medical doctor. I am very passionate about real health, and I've been involved, and very, very happily so, with what I believe to be the best family on the planet. We call it the Neolife family. And this evening, as you see those hands going up, we are calling the youth to put their hands up and look at a way to be healthier and happier. And the question is stress the lifestyle of the youth? So we want to look at causes of stress and how we can actually help each other to make the world healthier and happier. Well, what is stress? Let's perhaps start there. Stress is the body's response to physical, mental, and emotional pressure. And what happens is it causes chemical changes that can raise blood pressure, raise the heart rate, and also blood sugar levels, if it is not well managed, obviously. Stress causes feelings of frustration, anger, anxiety, and depression. Now, it can be due to normal life activities, or it can be following an event such as trauma or illness. The challenge is when it becomes long-standing. Long-term stress may lead to mental and physical health problems. So it's a big issue, and we shouldn't take it lightly. Now, I want us to look at what we are discussing at a cellular level. So I've put diagrams here of the human cell, and within that cell are little important organelles called the mitochondria. So I want each one of us to consider ourselves, our lives at that level. And that's why I put the word there. Healthy is actually two words put together: heal thyself. With that understanding, the environment in which our genes, the genetic material, is housed, is in every single cell of the body. So if you're wondering, what are these genes? Where are these genes? Well, every single one of those over 70 trillion cells house your genes. And then cells communicate and have a way of picking up and responding to all the messages around them, the signals, the chemical, electrical, vibrational signals. And those may originate from the environment, either inside the body or outside the body. And so we have to be mindful that even the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, whatever touches our skin, the EMF, electromagnetic fields around us, and then even our thoughts and feelings about ourselves and other people and life in general are very, very important, because they affect the cells, and within the cells, the mitochondria. Now that is mind-boggling if you ask me. So let us look at some random examples of lifestyle habits that will cause stress. One very common among the youth is perhaps not sleeping adequately. And why it is important to be aware of this is because the rhythms of our body, we call them biorhythms, such as the circadian rhythm, and in women, the monthly cycles, they're all controlled by three very important organs. The hypothalamus, which is the master control center. That one is actually influenced by dark and light. The sun, and when the sun sets, the night when it sets in. And then the pituitary, also in the brain, it is the master gland that conducts all the hormones and really governs how the hormones will help us and function in our bodies. And then the adrenals sit on top of the kidneys, and those are under the influence of the hypothalamus and the pituitary. They regulate the output of stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. So if sleep is not following the right rhythms, they will be trouble. And then the other thing that might cause a lot of stress is if there is lack of balance and lack of moderation, and one overexerts, for example, at training in an attempt to lose weight, as an example, that can affect sleep, and in the long run, it will affect a lot of other functions. That's why a lot of people who set out to try and manage their weight by over-exercising and forgetting other factors, such as their nutrition status, end up not succeeding. Okay, but overexertion or training, that the weight can affect sleep. Mineral deficiencies result, such as magnesium, calcium, potassium, and this can also affect the heart rate, and the body ends up reading that as a stress signal. And worse still, if there is challenges with the control of insulin, which will happen, because I like to always say that our hormones are like a big orchestra that has to be in tune with each other. All the instruments have to be in tune with each other and work well with each other. So if there is any stress causing the stress hormones to be more, then insulin might be affected and ultimately becomes resistant. Insulin resistance occurs. Okay, that's one aspect. Then I just want to bring to your attention the microbiome. That is very topical. People are talking about the gut microbiome. What has happened in the youth and older people is that as life happens to them, they're eating a lot of the wrong foods, perhaps they're taking medications with antibiotics in them, they're using chemicals. The microbiome in the gut might be disrupted to the extent that by the age of 40, most people have damaged microbiota, that is the microbiome. And as a result, hormonal imbalances and deficiencies occur. Now, I want you to take this actually quite seriously, because my attempts have always been to connect dots and to tell our guests and the distributors that everything that we have in Neolife makes absolute sense. So at this juncture, I would like to welcome all the guests to this call. And as I carry on, you will understand why we do things the way we do. So emotional stress, yeah? Stressful emotions such as resentment, feelings of unworthiness, criticism, blame, feeling victimized, all those, plus whatever could have happened during childhood, tend to linger and recycle unless one is made aware and makes every attempt to change that for the betterment of one's life. So youth, please listen up because this is important. Now, remember when I showed you the diagram of the cells and the mitochondria? I just want to tell you what mitochondria do. They are the power stations of the cell, and they're very delicate and very intricate and very, very important. And the cells, every cell in our body can have several, sort of like thousands, depending on the work that that cell does. So the heart has thousands and thousands of mitochondria per cell. And their role is to generate what I like to call the currency of energy. It's called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is used to do the work of that particular cell. So now, youth, I want you to start putting together why it is important to be mindful of your lifestyle and what you do. And that's what we are discussing in this presentation. So, importance of mitochondria. It's the place where basic life requirements are combined. That is basically air and food. Those are combined to make energy. And there's a process that is known as a Krebs cycle. Increasing mitochondrial function is one of the most effective ways to boost cellular energy and therefore enhance efficiency of every biochemical reaction and cellular process in our bodies. So it is important to know because this potentially can slow down the aging process. But we are seeing a lot of younger and younger people who are looking more and more exhausted, and that is a reflection of how the mitochondria have been affected. But just so you know, dysfunctional mitochondria result in diseases. Cells have hundreds, as I've mentioned, or even thousands. And important to know, a characteristic of mitochondria is their own DNA, that is the genetic material, and also ribosomes. Those are the ones that are used within the cells to create protein. Okay, therefore protein synthesis. Mitochondria live for about 3 months in human beings, and every day, every second of one's life, there are billions that are being produced. So I hope that gives you the idea that if they need to be produced by the billions, you'd better be keeping up with the raw materials. That is the reason for telling you this. Yes, heart muscle, very hardworking. It has a lot of mitochondria. So when your mitochondria are healthy and functional, they will effectively kill off damaged, potentially cancerous cells that are produced daily, replacing them with healthy cells. So we hear very often the question, why is cancer on the rise? Even younger people are getting cancer. Well, we're beginning to answer that question, and ask yourselves, are my mitochondria healthy? That's a good question, because each one requires oxygen and nutrients. Those are the very basic requirements. The key nutrients include glucose, magnesium, omega-3 fatty acids. We need some B vitamins. And then there's some other nutrients, I should call them, such as L-carnitine, which is made within the body, but you need to have the raw materials. And then alpha lipoic acid is an antioxidant made naturally in the body, but we do have some of our products that have it in them. I think it's available as a supplement within the products that we have. So Carl Jung, a very famous psychoanalyst and psychologist, once said, it all depends on how we look at things and not how they are in themselves. And I put this slide here so that we are encouraged to look at things through the lens of how can I take responsibility for this situation, rather than hoping that somebody else will do something for you. So that introduces the topic of mindset. What is your mindset regarding diet, sleep, stress reduction, positive relationships, and the connection between spirit, mind, and body? Ask yourselves. Also, ask yourself about the mindset again. Can you accept that things happen for a reason? And are you willing to learn the lessons? For those of you who are invited to this presentation, that question is for you. You are here for a reason, perhaps to learn something new. And then on a daily basis, are you grateful? Are you really grateful for the fact that you are alive and you can make a difference in your own life and other people's lives? Are you willing and able to forgive the past? Many of us hold on to a lot of hurt and those stressful emotions that I've talked about. But it actually may take unlearning, learning, and relearning new ways. And hopefully that's what we want to share with you this evening. So the big question is, are you ready to choose to have a new life? Yes, a lot of us have been raised to believe that as long as you're eating something, that's enough. But there's a teacher called Jan Chozen Bays who said, it's a teacher, author, mindful eating educator, and pediatrician who specializes in work with abused children, said this: mindful eating replaces self-criticism with self-nurturing. It replaces shame with respect, and also respect for your own inner wisdom. And that is so crucial because a lot of us have forgotten the importance of eating mindfully. We just eat. As long as we've eaten, we don't even pause our phones and our televisions and driving and whatever we might be doing. We just eat. Now we need to become mindful because that is actually very, very important. To always remember how you eat can be as important as what you eat. And this is just to lead on to some news that I want to share. We can control the environment to which we, and therefore our genes, are exposed. We can control the expression of our genes because we are powerful creators. We can shift the expression of our genes and our physical manifestation. So, so important. And remember, please, that thoughts are actually tangible things and affect physical reality. That is news for all of us, not just the youth, but it is good to know that we can mindfully change the world into a healthier and happier place. So as long as we remember that health is very much like money, we never have a true idea of its value until we lose it. We are hoping that the youth will start creating great health and money along with it so that the future can be bright. Now, let me just change tack a little bit and talk about some overwhelming research that has shown that inflammation is actually something that we need to be so aware of. because we are seeing all those horrible diseases like Alzheimer's, cancers, heart attacks, arthritis, depression even. All those are believed to be as a result of inflammation, and inflammation can do a lot of damage if it isn't well managed by the body, because the body doesn't have the tools to manage. So that's where I would like us to begin to look at the whole issue of stress in the youth. We, I believe, are dealing with ongoing inflammation because of the lifestyles we live today. So what can we do? Inflammation, as long as you remember, can damage the body quite remarkably, such as cognitive decline. We've talked about cardiovascular risk, that is the biggest cause of death and disability, and all those, that whole long list. You can read it yourself. And that is where this family has excelled, because it addresses each and every one of those issues and challenges. Let us start with the environment, shall we? Because I believe environmental toxins are a big piece of the puzzle that is missing as regards disease causation. And a lot of people want to start by throwing a lot of expensive medications and even supplements as situations before they remove the offending toxins. So for the youth, have a look at your deodorant that you're using now. Did you know that it could be a challenge? Okay, so the reason that we have to be concerned is that over the past 50 to 60 years, maybe a little more now, over 80,000 chemicals have been added to our day-to-day use, and those chemicals are found everywhere, in food, in water, in detergents, in personal care products, even in the fabrics that we wear these days, and in furniture and carpets. So with that in our minds, we can't necessarily change all that, but what we need to brainstorm now is that there are solutions, and there are solutions to the challenges. So for the guests again, welcome to the family on a mission to end the trend of chronic disease and financial stress. And to those of you who are already in the family, keep sharing, because it is so important. We are the world's leading nutrition company. It's called Neolife. I just thought that to beat stress, we need to know that they are stunning products. A lot of people will take, for example, CalMag, calcium and magnesium, just for bones. But did you know that by having a good supply on board regularly, you sleep better? Calcium and magnesium are important to promote nervous system function, and they also help the muscles to relax, thereby managing stress. Okay, so that's what we are talking about. And I want us always to remember that there is no quick fix about anything in life, no quick fix. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. And that is very sound advice for anybody who wants to change and to choose to change their life and their financial status. So I hope you're all ready for a new life, because what we are offering and we are offered is a better appearance, more energy and vitality, information that is relevant and useful to everybody. And then there are opportunities to prosper and to contribute to society, opportunities to travel, and we want to create unity amongst ourselves so that we all make the world healthier and happier. So those of you who need to know, all of us aspire to have 100% health and to live for a long, long time. That can be challenging for the youth because they, as a result, can get quite reckless at the beginning while they're still young. So the reason I'm presenting this for the youth is to remind you that it takes mindfulness and knowledge to look after your health. Okay, so all of us are born hopefully energetic, but unfortunately, it actually happens during teenage years. People dwindle in energy and sink into the tired and sick zones, and they lose out on so much health and spend so many years in those tired and sick zones, which is far from ideal. So I would like to introduce to you the Scientific Advice Report. I like to call it the true near-life difference, who have researched and developed everything for us, making sure that everything is based in nature and backed by science. Arthur First, Dr. Arthur First, who founded the Scientific Advice Report, was a very well-known and renowned scientist, toxicologist, and cancer researcher, who said that nutrition is the way to go. Nutrition, you can't go wrong with nutrition as long as you supply the right nutrients to the body remains healthy. And so I just want to remind you, at a cellular level is what Neolife has taught us to focus on. And also disease prevention uses this, that as long as you manage your weight and do adequate physical activity and eat a diet rich in whole food nutrients, you're good to go. Okay, so youth, I know this might all be new to many youth, but it should make common sense at the end of this presentation. So that is the wellness triangle, a lot of physical activity and weight management, and that supports everything else. Whole grains are hard to come by. I just want to tell you that. A lot of people start the day with some sort of grain, be it bread or cornflakes or maize porridge or oats. But all of those have had to be processed so that the oils that were originally in those grain are taken out in order for the grain to have a long shelf life. Then we're supposed to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but most of us don't. And protein and the right sugars and fats. So the typical lifestyle pyramid looks like that. And unfortunately, too many people are eating way too many fats and sugars, hardly doing any exercise. And of course, whole grains are hard to come by. And so the result is that those cells that I have belabored that we need to be responsible for end up becoming sick, unhealthy. Okay? And what we need to know now is to introduce to you the solution, which is grain oil concentrates. And this company that you're looking at were the pioneers of this concept to feed the cells at that level so that you can enhance your energy and improve nutrient utilization of all the other nutrients so that the mitochondria can function well. Because it is increasingly known that if mitochondria are not functioning, you are in deep trouble. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, guests, it is time for action to make a routine of healthy eating habits and health habits generally. So I want us to start by setting some goals, because we can accomplish any goal if we believe we can. And I want to be a pain to everybody to remind us that in this month of June, when we commemorate what happened in June, we need to say we are not victims of our genes. We just need to get past the limiting beliefs which have been programmed in our subconscious minds, and to be aware that genes can switch on or express in response to the environment. So look around you and ask yourself, who do you hang out with? What do you think about? What do you do? Wouldn't you like to have some more friends? And wouldn't you like to work together with people who are progressive and want to help you? So we use a method called network marketing. And I just wanted to say, if we are to set goals around those areas, our spiritual lives, our mental, career, personal, financial, that's a big one, physical, family, and social, okay? We need to have the goals to actually expand that circle and to work together. And the way to do that is through building friendships, building networks. I hope everybody can take that in. And I love this slide because it puts it so nicely, the 5 reasons God created network marketing. It works only if you help others. It provides great wealth, you better believe it. It teaches you to overcome obstacles and limiting beliefs. It forces you to face your fears. And it allows you to love more, you know? You stop disliking people for the sake of it and just get on with sharing your life. So these are the 7 keys that I want you to remember as I wind down. Exercise regularly, eat well, get sunshine first thing in the morning, switch off electronics close to bedtime. That's why I'm rushing to finish. And proactively work on your stress levels. This teaching has been around stress in the youth. We need to bring down those stress levels. Get enough sleep, very, very important for overall health, and get rid of toxic chemicals. Now, if you didn't know, a lot of chemicals are around us, but for today, I want you to turn to the person who has invited you and ask for more information. As we invite youth to our family that is on a mission, question, how are your finances looking? Youth, wouldn't you like to make some more money? Now, the preceding slide was to show you that yes, you can, by unlocking the benefits of introducing people. We call it sponsoring in our family. And I just want also to quote Nelson Mandela, who said that money won't create success, but the freedom to make it will. That is so key. I just want to say that when you come to this family, you are supported by awesome mentors. You will have somebody who brings you to the family, but then there is support all the way up. We've just had a weekend function where we learned a lot from amazing leaders. But the simplicity of it is that you need to keep learning. And what are you learning? How to use the products, how to share the opportunity and the products, and how to become a better version of yourself. Because your income can only grow to the extent that you do. And that is why I've talked about stress in the youth. But now, let us look at our responsibilities. Responsibility for the environment, very, very important, will bring health, not only to yourself, but to everybody around you. So we have very amazing cleaning products that are 100% biodegradable, very economical, and very, very safe and versatile. You need just a few more for other jobs, but you can run a household on these these three products. And then for your skin, we have a range that is 100% organic, and it has all those attributes. It doesn't block pores, it doesn't create any problems, and it is a good business in its own right. Okay, so look at what we have. I also want to remind you that responsibility for cellular nutrition will bring health. So this is the fundamental product that we've talked about, but we have more products. This is the set that we call core nutrition. And then we have something to feed your mitochondria called coenzyme Q10. But you can start gently and small and build it up as the finances grow. And so how do they grow? I thought I would show the youth this to give you a lot of hope. Everybody starts as a distributor. The more you share in your life, the faster you will grow, because as executive manager, you can earn yourself about $250 as a bonus. You carry on with your life. And then director, you get more. Emerald director, incentives kick in. World team, you start visiting the world, traveling, and you're earning over $1,000. And that's where we want everybody to head for and enjoy all those things that are available for us. So turn to the person who has invited you. Ask for more information. The climb may be tough, but the view from the top is absolutely priceless. As long as you are prepared to do the hard work, to hang on to your dreams, and to look up to those who can support you, and to purpose to be an employment maker. It's good to have employment, to have a job, but I must tell you that it is even better with your job to have a side hustle that ultimately can pay you way more than what you could be paid on a job. But that is something that you need to plan for and be serious about. So we are inviting you, youth, to become distributors. As long as you're over 18, you are most welcome to get started. Turn to the person who has invited you here and ask yourself, what will you do with your new life? What is your dream? What is your big why? That is the question. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing now and we can discuss.